Okay, solve the system by graphing. So we have a system of equations, two equations. Your job is to find the point where the lines cross. So we have y equals negative x plus 3 and y equals x plus 7. Okay, so I'm going to put these on scratch paper so you can see it. You can write them here if you want. It's up to you. You don't need a lot of workspace on the first one. So here's y. Y is already by itself, so you got your m and your b. So the slope is negative 1, and the y-intercept is positive 3. Easy enough. So 1, 2, 3, and then negative 1. So down 1, forward 1. And then there's the first line. Okay. Now on the other side, we have y equals x plus 2. Okay, so y is isolated, so we have the m and the b. So the slope would be 1, and the y-intercept would be positive 1. Put a 1 under that. So positive 1, so up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, and we already have the crossing point right there. Okay, so the x, you're at 1, okay? You're at 2 on the y. Answer 1 and 2. Okay, number 2, we have 2x minus y equals negative 5. Negative 2x minus y equals negative 1. Okay, it's going to be significantly more work. 2x minus y equals negative 5. Negative 2x minus y equals negative 1. Now, on the y side, is the y isolated by itself? No, it's not. So I apply a 1 there plus negative. Okay? Remember, put a multiplication dot and just circle it. You need that term to be positive. If it's not, you apply the opposite. Negative, positive, positive. Now, you can put a check. Now, you have a multiplier of 1, but you have a negative 2x outside that you have to add or subtract. So you add 2x, and then you make the 0x and add 2x to the 0. So line up your equals. You have 1 multiplied by y, and then you put the 2x before the 5. Okay, now divide everything by 1. Okay. 2 divided by 1 is 2x, 5 divided by 1 is 5, and now you have yourself your m and your b. So the slope is 2 over 1, and the y-intercept is positive 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Okay, so I have enough points to graph that. And the other one, it's the exact same procedure. Well, the y is not by itself, okay? It's multiplied by a negative 1. You don't want that negative, so positive 2, positive 1, positive 1. Put a check mark now. So we take the 2x out of there by subtracting, because you have a 2x added, so you unadd it by putting 0x and subtracting 2x. So you got 1 times y. So 0 minus 2 is negative 2, so you got to put the negative 2x in first, followed by the plus 1. Now you divide everything by 1. So it's going to be negative 2x plus 1. Okay. These are going to cross because the slopes are different. Slope this time is, instead of 2 over 1, it's negative 2 over 1. And the y-intercept's plus 1. So we go to 1, then I go down 2 over 1. Okay, oh, they're going to cross. You see that. and they're going to cross. I mean, here's x, so 0 right there. So it'd be -1, and I'm lined up. And on the y-axis, you're at 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 3. Okay, my next problem. Y equals 2x minus 1. 3y equals 6x minus 3. So on one side, y equals 2x minus 1. The other side, we have 3y equals 6x minus 3. This one's got the y by itself, so you got your m and b. Slope, y-intercept. So the slope is 2 over 1. Minus 1's the y-intercept. So -1, then up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and that's the fit equation of the first line. Okay, now in the other equation, 3y equals 6x minus 3. Is a y by itself? No, it's not. So it has a multiplier of positive 3. Put a check mark. Now, on that side, is there anything outside the 3 times y? There's not, so we don't have to add, we don't have to subtract, we just go straight into dividing by 3. And now y will be by itself. 2x, and then minus 1. So the slope now I know is 2 over 1, and the y-intercept is -1. Well, that's the same thing I have here. So that's IMS, infinitely many solutions. No solution is when they're parallel. But when it's the exact same one as IMS. Okay, solve by substitution. Now you don't have a graph. Okay. Do you have a letter by itself? You do. You have y. That's your base. Okay. Circle the other side. Now write your off base. 2x plus 2y equals 38. So the y is your base, so parentheses goes to y, and I put x plus 3, 1x plus 3. So line that up, you got 2x plus 2, parentheses, 1x plus 3. Then after the parentheses, we're equal to 38. Put a times, 2 to 1x, 2 to 3. Drop your plus. What's 2 times 1x? 2x. What's 2 times 3? 6. That's gone. Remember to add the first 2x. Okay. Now, v your x's, because they're on the same side, that's 4x plus 6 equals 38. So now I got multiplying by 4. Now it's time to get the x by itself. You got a multiplier of 4 and a plus 6. So get rid of your number that's added. 32. We divide each side by 4, and x equals 8. Pay attention to the letter. Now to find y, go to y equals x plus 3. Well, you're going to put 8 in for x, and x didn't have a number in front of it, so you can put a 1 if you want, but it's 1 times 8 is just 8. Okay, so y is equal to 8 plus 3. The y is by itself, so all I need to do on the other side is add. Y would equal 11. So 8, 11. Okay, number 5, y equals 3 plus 2x, 3x minus 2y equals 5. Do you have a base letter? You do. Okay. 3 plus 2x on the other side. Now write your off base. 3x minus 2y equals 5. Okay, y is the base, so that's where the base goes. Make that 2 a plus negative. And then 3 plus 2x. If you want to write it as 2x plus 3, that's fine. You can always order a plus different. So we have 3x plus -2, parentheses 3 plus 2x, and then equals 5. So here is my plus. I drop that down. And I distribute -2 to 3 and -2 to 2x. So -2 times 3 is -6. Here, I'll show it. Okay. And then negative 2 times 2x is going to be negative 4x. It doesn't matter the order you write it, really, okay? But the x goes with the negative 4. Then you add your 3x on the side. Okay, so I have v my x is a 4 plus a negative 3 is a negative 1x plus the negative 6 equals the 5. So take out my, I add 6, that's 11. Divide by negative 1, and that's negative 11. So x is negative 11. Now we got to figure out our y. So use the one with the base, y equals 3 plus 2x. Well, negative 11 is going to go in for x here. Well, since it had a 2 in front, we need to multiply that. 2 times negative 11 is negative 22. So now we have y equals 3 plus negative 22, and since y is by itself, we just add those. That's going to be negative 19. Okay, next problem. Solve by elimination. 6x plus 5y equals 39, 3x plus 5y equals 27. Okay, I don't have a base, so what I do in elimination is align my x and y's into columns. And I need to add to get to 0, okay? In either the x or the y column, either one's good. That's 9x, that's 10y, but we do have the same term there. As long as I make my 5 into a negative, I'm good, but then I got to make the 3x negative and the 27 negative. So 5 and a negative 5 will make 0y, so y is then eliminated. And then I take 6 plus negative 3, and that's 3x. 39 plus negative 27 is 12. Now all you have is the multiplication with the x. So you divide each side by 3, and x equals 4. Now to find y, we don't have that base equation, so just use your original. 6x plus 5y equals 39. So x equals 4. Now find that product, just like you always do. 6 times 4 is 24. So now I have 24 plus 5y equals 39. Now this time my letter is not by itself, okay? It's got operations with it, a plus and a times. So I like to circle the times. I get rid of the number that's being added, the constant. That's 15. Then I divide by 5, and y equals 3. Okay, so 4, 3. Okay, number 7. 5x minus 9y equals negative 43, and then 3x plus 8y equals 68. Again, no base, so you arrange your x and y's into columns, and you see if you can add to 0. Remember that minus 9 is now a negative on the y, okay? That's 8, and that's not 0 either, but we don't have the benefit of having the exact same term where I can just change the sign, so I need to multiply. So by 3, by 5, by 3, by 3, by 5, by 5. Okay, so 3 times 5x is 15x. 3 times negative 9y is negative 27y. And then 3 times negative 43 is negative 129. Now on bottom, you get 15x plus 40y. And 68 times 5 is 340. Now line them up again. Now that's 30 and that's 13 when you add these, but now you have the benefit of the same term in the x column. So negative, negative 40, negative 340. So that's 0x. X is eliminated then. You just had to take it a step further than what you had there. Negative 27 plus negative 40 is negative 67y. and then negative 129 plus negative 340 is negative 469, and then I just divide, and I'm going to have my answer for y. So negative 469 divided by negative 69, 7 is 7. Y equals 7. Okay, now to find x, use your first equation because you don't have a base, so you have to just pick one of the four. I usually just roll with the first one. Okay, so y is 7. So we have to find negative 9 times 7, that's negative 63. So we have 5x plus negative 63 equals negative 43. So get the x by itself. It's got a times and a plus. So add 63. That takes us to 20. 5 times x equals 20. And then we divide each side by 5. And 20 divided by 5 is 4. Okay, last problem. Find the region that represents the solution to the linear system inequalities. The inequalities are already graphed. So you have this angle inside, got this angle, this angle, this angle. Okay. Okay, so basically it's trial and error. You pick A. Okay, I pick a point. First off, I make a table and I line up each inequality on the sides. I don't need to graph these. They're already graphed. You don't mess around trying to get anything by itself. The graphs, the lines are already there for you. Now A, pick a point in A, not on a line. You can't go on a line. Somewhere in A. See, A is this part in here. Okay, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, up 2. Okay. So 4 and 2. Okay, then we empty the y and the x out, parentheses greater than or equal to 3, parentheses minus 2. So 2 goes in for y, 4 goes in for x. So we have 2, 3 times 4 is 12, 12 minus 2 or plus negative 2 is 10. That's a no, so I know it can't be A. Now, I try B. As soon as I get a no, I know it can't be that. So then B, okay, that's an A didn't work. Now B. Pick a point inside the B angle. I'm going to go back 2, down 1, okay? So, negative 2, negative 1. Do the same thing. So, negative 1 is y, negative 2 is x. So you have negative 1. So 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, plus negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 1 is bigger than negative 8. So when they're both negative, the smaller one's negative. That's a yes. Okay. Now, let's try this one. So negative 1, negative 2. So negative 1, negative 2. So I have negative 1 over here. So I times these, I get negative 1. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. I think we have it because they're both yes. So here's B. B is inside this angle. Okay. Shade inside. Okay. Don't cross the lines. It's got to be inside the lines.